Bonjour, and today we're Rog ranting about the Magna Carta. The Roger's actually read the Magna Carta. Oh yes, he has. He read the one that was signed at lunchtime at 12:15. He's read the one that was signed 10 minutes later at 12:25, and he's even read the one that was sold in the evening at 17:25. And he can say, this is all obviously in response to that lovely comment Tony put down on the census video about how when I was talking about joinder, which is a genuine legal thing, that they didn't believe in this free man of the land BS. And I didn't know what it was, so I've done a bit of research further, and the Magna Carta actually mentions the term free man on the land. But of course it doesn't, it's just a term. But what is interesting is that it's actually got what would be, by today's standards, a fair slice of that in it, because it mentions quite a few times about owing money to, and it uses that exact term. That exact term is used. Now, what is it? What is it about these innocent people that makes them such a threat? They have to be mentioned in the Magna Carta. I don't know. I have no clue at all. No. But as far as this section 6163 about all taxes being voluntary, it doesn't exist. It doesn't mention it at all. There's nothing at all. So if anybody, I see this. I was watching some of these videos of these people who think that they're freeman people, and they always find themselves in court and found guilty and having to pay huge fines because they're misreading the document, and because they don't fully understand how it works and they don't understand how the law actually works, they just make these silly mistakes, and then of course they hang themselves, don't they? So yeah, freeman on the land, waste of time, utter waste of time. It doesn't stand up in court. Magna Carta is nothing about avoiding taxes. It's mostly to do with land barons and knights. And I tend to think of land barons today, because they're all corrupt in those days, as being effectively taken over by local councils who do the same thing. There's nothing in there that says that you don't have to pay tax at all. So that's another one down the toilet, isn't it? I even found somebody on a website somewhere. I was drifting looking for something else, using evil Google, and somebody had actually written under the Freedom of Information Act for proof from the tax office, from the tax people, that if they'd received any letters from people who run their own businesses absolving themselves of tax because of section 61 of the Magna Carta. And of course they received zero responses because it doesn't mention anything about avoiding tax. So no, Magna Carta, total waste of time. It's largely ignored because it doesn't really apply anymore, because it only applies to knights and land barons and the church and stuff. There's a couple of nice things, such as thing that says if a child becomes of age, another legal restriction there, and they have an inheritance, that they shouldn't pay tax on it. It states that, which is fair enough. I think that should also be exactly the same, that if somebody snuffs it and people inherit things, that they shouldn't be taxed either. I mean, that's perfectly logical. In fact, actually, the state should pay for the funeral, shouldn't it? Because if they're paying into the system for those years, that would be democratic and humane. But we don't live in that world, do we? So Magna Carta, don't bother with it. I'm going to put some links in the description to all the various translations I found, because I was reading the one from the British Library, who actually have custody of the document, have translated it many times, and a couple of other places for the other versions, which basically they're exactly the same, just a bit at the top starts. So it references a different king or queen. That's all it changes, really. But I'm going to put it in the, and again, read it for yourself. As usual, put some of your lovely comments in, and let's see what you think. Magna Carta, is it worth it, or is it an utter waste of time and doesn't apply anymore? Until next time, it's not reality, it's YouTube.